It may not be Halloween yet, but we've got the makings of a horror story near campus.
And no one likes to leave campus bars alone, and a student safety program is going to make sure you don't have to.
All that and more coming up on Buckeye News Now. I'm Alice Buckeye.
And I'm Alexandria Chapin. You're watching Buckeye News Now. It sounds like the plot from a latest slasher film, a story that's gotten national attention. A house of 15 male students had a 16th person living with them, and he wasn't paying rent. That's because the man we now know as Jeremy wasn't supposed to be living there. The Lantern's Chelsea Spears has this story.
When Mark and his roommates moved into their new place off campus, it seemed just like any other college house that needed a bit more work.
There was mold in our air conditioners, the walls and the floors were all dirty.
But after a month of living in the house off East 13th, the guy started to get the feeling that something more was wrong.
We had been telling everybody the story about the ghost in our house, coming and opening all our cupboards and the oven and the microwave and all this stuff.
They started getting even more suspicious, so Mark and his 8 housemates searched the house. Down 2 flights of stairs in their basement, they found a door. They tried opening it, but it was locked.
Behind the locked door there was some weird noises like dings and alarms and stuff.
When their realtor finally opened the door, what they found shocked everyone. A bedroom that someone else had been living in.
No, what? Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Inside the room, they found pictures of the guy with his friends and family. One of Mark's housemates, Brett, recognized the guy in the photos as a man he'd run into once before on their property. The house is divided into 2 separate rental spaces, so at the time, Brett just thought he was on the other lease.
He was like, oh, I was wondering when I get to meet the people that live here, and I was like, oh, hey, like, what is your name? And he's like, oh, my name's Jeremy.
According to Brett, Jeremy was a student at Ohio State. He wasn't home when the boys finally got into the room, so the realtor left a note on his door before he evicted him.
Jeremy since moved out of the house, but he left behind some items that show he was living here, such as this mattress that he was using, and some drinks, and even food.
Jeremy had access to a bathroom in the basement and a sink that he could have used to do laundry, but the guys don't think he ever ate their food or went into their rooms.
I mean, he was a really nice guy. Like, I feel bad for him, but it's just, you know, he wasn't supposed to be living there.
Since Jeremy moved out, the guys have changed the locks on their doors. They just feel lucky it didn't turn out worse.
It's funny now, but it really could have been, like, potentially extremely dangerous, like, given that some random guy had a key to our house and was just living in our house without anyone knowing.
Chelsea Spears for The Lantern.
Ohio State mourns the loss of a student, Maria Tiberi, today after she was killed in a car crash late Tuesday evening. The accident occurred just off of I-270 at Cemetery Road. The collision involved a tractor-trailer. She was pronounced dead at Grant Medical Center. Maria Tiberi was the daughter of current 10 TV sports anchor Dom Tiberi.
Parents always say not to get in the car with a stranger, but Asia Gore is telling us about why that might not always be the case.
Looking for a ride home? Here's your answer. They're a group of student employees who can do a lot more than parallel park.
We have defensive tactics training for all of our students. They go through a course with a police officer here who's certified as a defensive tactics instructor to be able to give them a fundamental skill set to be able to handle themselves if there's a problem.
They also have a physical set of tools, including flares, jumper cables, and even waste bags for students who may have partied too hard.
We also aren't out to get, underage drinkers in trouble. It's not that we endorse it, but that's not our job. We're there to help people, not, get them in trouble.
It might not get you in trouble with the police, but repeatedly not showing up for rides will get you locked out for the rest of the semester.
It hurts other students because if we're tied up waiting around for somebody who never shows up, then it's somebody that could have gotten a ride that didn't and might be walking alone that night.
They said it was going to take like 45 minutes to an hour, so we just decided not to and walked.
And walking home alone can be dangerous, as these crime data boards illustrate. Student safety services are free to students, and this guy will pick you up, beginning at 7 p.m. every evening. For Buckeye TV, I'm Asia Gore.
In a recent survey from Ball State University, found that 78% of students from 15 Midwestern colleges are opposed to allowing guns on campus.
On campus-wise, I'm for it, just due to the fact that you see all the robberies around campus all the time. I think like that would kind of minimize it a little bit if we could carry a gun.
I think that I'm definitely against that. I don't know. I don't want people running around with guns, especially with like people. I mean, people are doing drugs, and like I don't want people being like high on something and then carrying around a gun. That would just be okay. Like people can get other things to protect themselves, like mace or like use your car keys. Honestly, I don't think people need to be carrying around guns. It makes the campus less safe.
People who would be unsafe would have weapons anyway, or would find a way to carry weapons on campus. So, I mean, no matter what, there could be a way for someone to have guns on campus or concealed weapons on campus. But if I had to say, I would be against it.
This year, 19 state legislators introduced bills to allow concealed carry on campus, but only 2 were passed. And while currently Ohio does not allow concealed carry on college campuses, 7 other states do. Football fans pay a lot to watch their Buckeyes play on Saturday, including parking fees. But one parking lot on campus is using all that green for something good. Alexandria Chapin tells us why it pays to park.
This season, Buckeye fans can feel good about where they park on football Saturdays. Their parking fee here at Morehouse Medical Center Plaza goes to help patients at The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. For a donation of $15 per car, the service board at The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center offers parking for every home football game at the Martha Morehouse Medical Plaza on 2050 Kenny Road.
The parking lots at the Martha Morehouse Medical Center made available to the service board to get all the proceeds from the parking on football Saturdays for the service board to use in paying, giving out grants. We have a grants program, and over the years that the service board has existed, which is coming up on 30, I think this is our 28th or 29th year, we've given out more than $1 million.
More than $1 million to improve the patient and visitor experience at the medical center. During the 2012 football season, approximately 3,000 cars were parked at the Morehouse Medical Plaza, helping to fund 49 grants.
The major source of funds for the grants is the football parking that we get, and approximately $40,000 a year comes in from the football parking that we're then able to give out in grants. And we usually give about $60,000 to $65,000 worth of grants each year, and as you can see, the $40,000 is the major portion of that.
And the service board tells us that these parking lots are not full, and there's always plenty of room for more parking on game days. Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Alexandria Chapin.
Although Campus Park owns the rights to the Morehouse lot, they have let the Med Center continue collecting those game day funds.
Ohio State climbed the rankings to the number 16 spot in the top 50 public universities. U.S. News and World Report released their 2013 list of America's best colleges. OSU jumped 2 spots from last year and has once again been named the best public university in Ohio, a title the university held for 9 years. The first-year experience, learning communities, and undergraduate research were also noted in the magazine as programs that help students' success.
Well, of course, being a student at Ohio State, I think that we should be the best, but it's always great when we move up, and so, I mean, it's an improvement, and we'll probably eventually move up more and just keep getting better.
I mean, I feel like 16th is a little bit low with all the opportunity and the reach that we have, especially having the most alumni. It just feels like that being here and all of the resources that OSU has at their disposal, we should maybe be a little higher than 16th.
Now we're bringing you continuing coverage and the latest developments in Ohio State's presidential search. According to our partners at The Lantern, Ohio State will be paying $200,000 to the search firm that is assisting in finding a new president. OSU recently finalized their contract with the firm, R. William Funk & Associates. The firm will also be reimbursed for traveling, lodging, and administrative expenses that relate to the search. And in another development, the university does not intend to make the candidates for the presidency public, despite the search committee's focus on student inclusion, despite the transparency that some officials originally suggested. When we come back, we're talking innovation on campus.
And find out why students aren't cheering for the Block O.
Stick around.
Students see police around campus in cars, on motorcycles, and even sometimes on horses. But their new set of wheels may surprise you. Alice Buckeye has this story.
You wouldn't expect to see this vehicle on campus, but now it's a possibility after the OSU police recently got an armored military vehicle.
We use them for a variety of purposes, emergency response first and foremost. This kind of vehicle would aid in response and rescue of injured persons, protect those that are inside the vehicle, and be able to respond safely to those kind of very serious situations.
The police department received the vehicle at no cost from a military surplus store, but this isn't the first armored truck that has come to campus.
We have had armored vehicles in our fleet for dozens of years. The one that we recently acquired is a replacement vehicle for one of the older ones.
The new armored truck is also prepared for the extreme weather conditions that may hit Columbus.
It can go through water up to 3 feet deep, climb slopes, go through deep snow, go through or over debris.
But students shouldn't expect to see this military vehicle rolling onto campus. The police department has plans to make it look more appropriate for a college campus before putting it to use.
But we want to make it look less military-like, and so we are removing some parts or items of it to lower the profile. We're going to paint it in part of our plan and to make it more adaptable to an urban campus environment.
Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Alice Buckeye. It sounds like science fiction, but the widely talked about Google glasses are playing a role in the medical field. Ohio State surgeon Dr. Christopher Guiton put the glasses to academic use by wearing them during an ACL repair surgery. He reported feeling slightly uncomfortable wearing the glasses at first, but very quickly adapted to them. The doctor says that by filming the ACL surgery with the glasses, students will gain a much greater perspective of how surgical procedures, a gain that he believes will have a tremendous impact on the curriculum of future medical students.
I could start to appreciate the connectivity it gave me and the possibilities. The fact that I could sit there in real time, both audibly and then even more important, even visually, I could communicate with somebody while I'm in the middle of the case.
Buckeyes are known for being the best fans in the land, but some students think those cheers have gone too far. An online petition was posted to stop the Block O section from using an expletive chant. Before kickoff, some students can be heard shouting, "Rip his expletive head off."
My opinion of it, I don't know. I've heard worse things cheered at other schools. I don't think much harm is meant in it. I think it's more of like a pump-up thing, although I don't like that it encourages injuring the other player.
I've never heard that chant before until like my first game. I guess it's like understandable, like we're a bunch of college kids, we say what we want, we do what we want, but I think it's really like it detracts from the game, like there's little kids going there.
I have heard it, and to be honest, I don't think it does any harm at all. I think if they have a problem with it, they can make it a little bit quieter maybe, but it's harmless. We're not actually physically trying to do any harm towards them, but we're just rooting on our Buckeyes and showing our support that we want to win and we want them to do whatever it takes.
The College of Engineering welcomed guests from around the world Wednesday for the ribbon-cutting ceremony of the Revolutionary Electron Microscopy Facility. The facility costs $15 million and will be what the center calls a hub for business academia for materials characterization.
The instrumentation innovations in this center will enhance the work of researchers worldwide in a diverse set of fields, from healthcare to automotive, from materials to technology, as well as several other fields.
While you may just toss your old bottles, cans, and plastic containers in the recycle bin, some students see them as works of art.
Using found materials and recycled materials especially is really interesting because it creates a new dialogue between your meaning of what you're trying to say and your materials.
The Office of Student Life, paired with Coca-Cola, held the Art of Recycling, a fair and competition where students showcased their art made entirely out of recycled items.
The purpose of really using recycled materials for artwork is to, number one, raise awareness and to really bring attention to this issue, but then to also demonstrate what you can do with recycled materials. It doesn't have to necessarily go right into that recycle bin. You can repurpose those items, and the benefit is still, really great.
There's a punch card for everything: coffee, frozen yogurt, sandwiches. Well, how about cultural experiences? And a full punch card gets you much more than a free hot chocolate. Asia Gore has the story.
This punch card could be your ticket to getting a job. It's the DICE card, the Diversity, Intercultural, and Community Engagement.
Employers, that's what they really want. They want people that understand diversity, that understand other cultures, and that really know how to engage with people that are different. This program is a way for you to sort of make note of that and put that in a way that can really stand out to employers.
A fully stamped card can be redeemed for a certificate of cultural understanding, a resume builder that comes in 3 different levels: ally, advocate, and activist.
You get a little card, and when you go attend each event, you'll get a punch for the card. So you attend 3 social justice engagement events, and then we have 3 heritage and awareness events.
The DICE website lists the qualifying events, which include everything from coffee tastings to watching movies. Many of the events include free snacks, which means there might be a free coffee in it for you after all. For Buckeye TV, I'm Asia Gore.
When we return, we're joined by sports reporter Jordan Elwood with our campus sports report.
And we've got your weekend weather update for the game this Saturday. Don't go away.
Now we're joined by our sports reporter Jordan Elwood to bring us our campus sports report. Jordan, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. After being named the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week and the Walter Camp Player of the Week, it appears that Kenny Guiton's run as starting quarterback ends this Saturday, as Braxton Miller is listed as the starter on this week's OSU depth chart. On Monday, Miller was listed as probable to play this Saturday versus Florida A&M, but if the preseason Heisman Trophy candidate is healthy, Coach Meyer says he will still play this weekend against the Rattlers.
He's actually working out here pretty soon, and I'd see there's pretty good chance. I don't want to give it percentage. He's probable to play this week.
He's gotten some reps with the team and stuff, so that's good to see. I think he's coming along nicely with his knee. I don't know what his status is. I can't speak on that, but he's been getting his work done.
This weekend's game versus FAMU marks as the return for senior running back Carlos Hyde. Hyde served a 3-game suspension for an incident at a downtown bar back in July, but as of right now, Urban Meyer has not listed him on the 2-deep depth chart for Saturday. A top 10 BCS opponent versus an FCS school never makes for an exciting matchup. For the top 10 team, it's an easy W, and for the FCS school, it's a nice paycheck for $900,000 in trade for losing the game. Well, unless you're the 2007 Appalachian State team. The Buckeyes open this Saturday as a whopping 57-point favorite versus Florida A&M, the largest spread in OSU football history. For Ohio State players, the test won't be defeating the Rattlers, but finding the motivation to play them.
I like to showcase our talent. I would like to play bigger games, but I mean, it's really out of our control. I'm not really sure who makes the schedule, but I mean, we still just got to go out there and face whatever team is put in front of us.
Well, I think they're a good team that they're going to throw down the field. Very good quarterback, athletic wide receivers. Defense, they're just it's 100% blitz. Every snap they're blitzing. And we got to show up and play hard, or you'll look silly.
And now for some scores around Ohio State athletics. The women's soccer team defeated St. John's 1-0 in Bloomington, Indiana, while the men's team finished in a scoreless draw with the Falcons in Bowling Green. Ohio State field hockey fell to Massachusetts last Saturday 1-0, and the women's volleyball team defeated Xavier at home 3-1 Saturday night to win the Sports Imports DC Bowl Classic. Now let's take a look at your weekly forecast. Coming into the weekend, there will be heavy precipitation with rainfall through Saturday. It shouldn't be too cold though, with temperatures staying in the 70s and 80s throughout the week. Sunday we'll see some clouds, but by Wednesday we should be seeing sunshine.
Thanks for joining us for another week of Buckeye News Now.
Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Thanks for watching. Was I supposed to say the handle?